Greetings to all on the other side of the screen. I am the Overly Positive Fanboy, and this is Overly Positive Vlogs, the show where I give my unfiltered thoughts on the latest TV. It's another episode of The Bad Batch this time, folks, and we got an interesting one on our hands. So this episode basically follows the Batch going on another mission for Sid, this time going into a mine she bought, which contains this really explosive mineral. You know, just like that fuel in Solo. And that other fuel in the Clone Wars episodes, which also popped up in The Mandalorian. You know, the one with the droids and the wandering around nowhere for like an entire episode. Remember that? That was the 100th episode. No, actually it was the 99th. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, so this episode basically follows the group going on into this mine, getting the mineral, and just when it looks like a fairly simple mission where nothing goes wrong, their ship gets stolen. So now they have to wander around the planet trying to find any way to get off. And then a stampede happens, and it's all a bit Lion King for a moment. And then they end up dropping the mineral, and it gets blasted off into a storm, and then it explodes over a cave that's trapping them inside a mine. Yep. So now they're stuck inside a cave and they need to get out, and Omega runs off because she's feeling emotional over Echo's departure, and she's the only one who's struggling with it. And then they basically encourage Tech to go help her out because, well, he was a bit insensitive about the whole thing because he's Tech. And yeah, we get some nice moments with them, and then they fall down a hole and wash up in this other place, which does luckily end up providing them a way out. But I gotta admit, their method of doing so was very risky, because they needed Hunter and Wrecker to follow them down the rapids with the explosive mineral. There are so many ways that could have gone wrong, and I am very surprised they made it out in one piece. But regardless, they do. And then they leave and find an abandoned town and contact Sid saying, "Hey, we're stuck on this planet, we need your help to get off." And Sid's like, "What? I don't have time to do that, I'm very busy right now." So yeah, they're still stuck on the planet by the end of the episode. To be continued. But yeah, as I mentioned before, the main hook of the episode is Echo's departure, which is still weighing heavily on Omega's mind. She does not take their ship being stolen very well because the Havoc Marauder is their home, and Echo leaving has shaken her up because they were like a family, and yeah, she's never really had to deal with this before because, well, the Bad Batch have already lost Crosshair as well. Plus, Echo wasn't in their group to start with, so they're basically taking this like a soldier would, moving on because they have to, but Omega's not a soldier. This is her first time with these emotions. And again, her interaction with Tech is also quite nice because, well, he gets very autistic about this. He's completely incapable of recognizing why Omega's still upset, and later on in their final heart-to-heart, he basically admits that, well, yeah, he does process these emotions differently, and it won't always show on his face, but that doesn't mean he's not feeling them as well, and I really liked that moment. I can definitely relate to that feeling. But yeah, we got some nice character stuff in this episode, and they're still on that planet by the end, so I guess we have another two-parter on our hands. So, let's see what adventures they'll be able to get into next week. Will the Bad Batch ever get their ship back? We'll find out in the future, folks, and I'll be seeing you. Remember, it can be a harsh world out there, so why don't we try and make things a bit more positive, shall we?